Hello and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga, meditation, and Buddhist studies. We'd like to continue. Today is the 30th of August 2015. We'd like to continue our lectures and discussion forum. We are now on the second series, which is Understanding Buddhism, or To Understand Buddhism. These investigations were commenced by Grandmaster Ching Kong. And Grandmaster Ching Kong has done a lot of research into correct Buddhism, into Buddhism as it was in the time of the Buddha, bringing us the teaching that Buddhism is an institution. It's a universal institution. It's like a university. Buddhism is not a religion. It's an institution. The Buddha is not a god. The Buddha is a professor. The Buddha is our supreme professor, supreme teacher, paramount teacher, etc. So that is what Buddhism is in a nutshell. And the Buddha's objective, straight objective, was suffering. How to extirpate suffering, remove suffering from humanity, remove suffering, help human beings to overcome suffering, if you want to put it, express it in a better way. The Buddha's objective was to concentrate, research, study suffering, just as scientists study viruses and germs and diseases, bacteria. That's how the Buddha focused on suffering. And his objective was how human beings can overcome this disease that is called suffering. That's Buddhism in a nutshell, straight point, clear. Okay, so if you may let us proceed. I'll continue reading the lectures. We are now on page, if you have got, actually, for those who are new, I have attached websites to this particular video. So I'll advise you to proceed to the website, which I've attached to the video. You'll find it there. We are now on Understanding Buddhism. To understand Buddhism, once you get the book, you proceed to page 7. Our discussion this morning will be on page 7. So I'll continue lecturing from that page. I'll read to you from page 7. And then if you have any comments or questions, drop me an email, c.aburime@hotmail.com or colorcollege@hotmail.com. Just drop me an email. If Buddhism is not a religion, why is it not then a philosophy? In philosophy, there is both a subject and an object. In Mahayana Buddhism, there is no difference between subject and object. They are one. This meaning is very profound and difficult to understand. For example, a great master said, utilizing gold to form utensils, all utensils are of gold. Are the gold and the utensil the same thing or different? From their appearances, they look like two different things. However, from their composition, we realize that they are the same. One needs a profound intuitive comprehension to truly understand the reality of life and the universe. All of the Mahayana Sutras try to explain this concept and truth. One will share the same viewpoints with the Buddha when one truly understands and clearly recognizes this truth. Ordinary people, like we, are deluded. Ordinary people like we are deluded. In what way? Because we see everything in opposition to the other, not knowing that in reality everything is actually one and not two. We proceed. If you are with us, chapter 2. The goal of the Buddha's teaching. From the intrinsic nature of Buddhism, we proceed to the goal of the Buddha's teachings. This goal is to break through delusion and achieve enlightenment. The Buddha pointed out to us why we are leading lives of suffering and why the 6 realms of reincarnation exist. It is so because the wisdom and virtuous abilities in our original nature have yet to be uncovered. Thus, all our viewpoints and ways of interacting with life and the universe are incorrect. The erroneous acts committed due to these incorrect viewpoints and ways have resulted in the suffering of reincarnation within the 6 realms. The goal of the Buddha's teaching is to help and guide us to break through our delusion. Break through our delusion. To be awakened and escape this suffering and to obtain happiness. What do we seek in Buddhism? We seek Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, which is supreme enlightenment. The perfect, complete enlightenment. The Buddha teaches and hopes that all of us will attain this ultimate enlightenment. In other words, that all of us will become Buddha or Buddhas. The perfect, complete enlightenment can be explained as 3 levels. Our hearts, Bodhisattvas and Buddhas. The first is proper enlightenment. In our world, there are some very intelligent and wise people such as scientists, philosophers, and religious leaders. They have reached higher realization than most people have. However, although they may have reached a certain level of realization, the Buddha would not recognize their knowledge as the proper enlightenment because they have not severed their afflictions. They still dwell on the rights and wrongs of others, on greed, anger, ignorance, and arrogance. They still harbor wandering, discriminatory thoughts and attachments. In other words, their minds are not pure. Without the pure mind, no matter how high the level of realization one reaches, it is still not the proper enlightenment. In Buddhism, the standard for proper enlightenment is the pure mind, from which wisdom arises. It is the wish of all Buddhas that we attain this proper enlightenment. This is the level or degree of an arhat and is similar to attending a university to earn an undergraduate degree. This is the level or degree of an arhat, similar to attending a university to earn an undergraduate degree. Therefore, arhat, bodhisattva, and Buddha are titles similar to degrees of enlightenment attained in Buddhism. Therefore, arhat, bodhisattva, and Buddha are titles similar to degrees of enlightenment attained in Buddhism. Those who achieve proper enlightenment are called arhats. Arhats do not have illusory or misleading thoughts and viewpoints. They do not dwell on the rights and wrongs of others or on thoughts of greed, anger, ignorance, or arrogance. So, folks, the objective of Buddhism is study, scholarly research, which we have just done, and then contemplation, reflection, and meditation. I'll leave you to do that. On this discussion forum, if you have comments, you have questions, you have issues, things you don't understand very well, I've already given you my contact email address, c.aburime@hotmail.com, colorcollege@hotmail.com. Color spelled British, C-O-L-O-U-R. colorcollege@hotmail.com or c.aburime, A-B-U-R-I-M-E, c.aburime@hotmail.com. Contact me and I'll help you to go through those steps which you do not understand very well. Have a pleasant day, folks. Namo Amitofo.